pick and ban already because it's already underway. And it is the upper bracket final between Robbers and Gravity X PIWO. So you arrive at the perfect time, sort of, as well.
Yeah, so whoever wins this match goes into the group. It was Group G, I think.
Yes.
So the easier of those groups. And let's see how that goes. So best of 7, of course. The loser will play against the winner of the semi-final or final, however it's called, the last match. Let's say like that from the lower bracket, and they're gonna play against them. The match currently takes place. I'm not sure who's gonna stream it. Maybe
there is currently at the moment. Well, it is Nelesta Esports have their own stream going on as well. So there is actually a Nelesta Esports Twitch, I believe, that has also the point of view. If my memory serves me right, I remember him tweeting about it. So maybe you can have it on your second monitor. Maybe keep an eye on it as well.
Okay, but I already want to think about a pick here, because Gravity PIWO, if you remember in the seeding, they were really good on GeForce. They lost that map, but they were okay on this map, to be honest. And taking that as the first map, I think like Henken and Bellatos are definitely the outsiders here. But I think with that, the GeForce as pick number 1,
that is definitely
here,
well. It is very hard to know, because actually this is the first time we see Epos and Razi in rounds as well. They have been just clean sweeping everybody. So it's gonna be a uphill battle. They are definitely that dark horse here, Gravity X PIWO. But you never know. But we have Dive. So if we get to map number 6, we might see Dive for the first time as well. If we get there, it's a tall ask, but I have some confidence, because Beta Toast actually did put in time attack and in rounds very competitive times. And if Henken had clean rounds, he actually was also really good in the mix as well. And I just realized I didn't note down the map order. Classic. So
the classic. So Valley's not in there.
Yeah, we'll just get them anyway. Yep.
But there you go. I think the map pack in general, you know, we just slept over it for one day. We've seen the maps for the first time yesterday. I think they are nice, to be honest. I really like those maps. Some of them are a bit harder, of course. Some of them are a bit easier. But I think it's a good map pack, at least to watch. I think as a player, I've heard Stufts complaining about it, I would say. Saying that this is the only opportunity how to make it into in the Trackmania Grand League. So he has to play this map. But then he also said, yeah, maybe we're that spoiled from Season 2 because those maps were really good.
Yeah, Season 2 in the Trackmania World Tour, people really said that Season 2 was a very good map pack. There were a few outliers, of course, still, but people really enjoyed playing them. But this is World Cup as well, so you definitely can see the ramp up in difficulty as well.
Yeah.
They are longer on average, they are more technical as well. There's a lot of elements that we haven't seen a lot of the maps, a lot of tricks and mechanics you don't see often in the World Tour maps. But without further ado, the upper bracket final to decide who will be seed 1 in the wild card groups and who will go into Group G already. And we'll see who it will be, whether it be Beta Toast and Henken for Gravity and X PIWO, or will it be Robbers with Razi and Epos. And at the moment, at least, it's looking to be a very good start for the team of Robbers with Beta Toast in close pursuit. As I say
nice
that,
jinx.
Razi has a bit of a slide out.
Yeah, so Razi with 36% crashes, 30% top 1s. Epos with 63% top 1s and 24 crashes. So they can see they only lose 7% of their rounds. And Epos here, oh my god, what a great flick. But look at the line here from Bellatos. That's what I was talking about. Bellatos with a lot of speed, but does not go for the break tap. It is Epos right now in that battle for first position. Minimizes airtime accordingly. He has a way better line over that last stretch here, but the nose slide comes into play as well. Very, very nice line from the UK prodigy, I would say. He's on a good way to contest someone like Pac in the future, but Bellatos is the player to beat at the moment. Bellatos has good speed here as well. This could be a victory for Team Gravity PIWO if Bellatos gets a good ending here. Very good approach. Epos with more speed, and Epos will not fail it compared to Bellatos, and this could be a victory now for Team Robbers, because they are first and thirds. Razi also overtakes Bellatos. 1:13 is the winning time. We have seen faster times, but we have also seen slower times.
Well, if we look at it at the moment, if you look at the time, it was at 1:13.3 by Epos, and Beta Toast was actually in front. That was PB pace for Beta Toast as well in the first round already. So clearly they know what is at stake, and they know that they have a really good chance of actually getting to seed 2 as well. Whether it will be against Robbers to get seed 1, it's a tough task, but at the moment at least, off the gates, Robbers maybe not looking as hot, but as I say that, now Beta Toast falls a victim to that slide out. You can actually do a break tap there to get a really good exit with a lot of speed, but it does runs itself with a risk, because if you time it wrong, it's an immediate slide out. But Epos gets really stuck on the bobsleigh, but Henken slides out, so it is still an ace position for Team Robbers. Not the round that Gravity XP were looking for, but this could have been again a good possibility for them to yoink a few points, but now they might be allowing an ace here for Team Robbers.
I mean, the thing is, Henken and Beta Toast, they have to push. They have to go out of their comfort zone. They cannot save, and for that they have to go for that break tap. They have to go for that additional risk to beat Razi and Epos. Razi also on an okay time. I think he can beat that 0.3 here. Yeah, a 0.2. That is, I mean, we probably have seen faster times yesterday, but this is beating Muda's online world record, just to give you a perspective. So very good time from Razi. Epos, of course, capitalized from Henken's and Beta Toast's mistakes. But I think Henken, they have a chance, but they need to make it happen in the next 2 rounds, else the map will slip out of their hands.
Yeah, but there is an interesting part here as well. It was that if we remember from the previous matches, Gravity XP EVO, their first pick was GeForce usually against everybody else, but this is actually Robbers picking this map. So this is a very interesting thing. They're sort of challenging them. Okay, this is your best map. Can you beat us here? If not, well, I don't know how much of a chance you have on the rest of the maps. It is a bit of a test of skill as well. You know, you put the other team on their best map. Can you beat us, basically? Can you do it? And at the moment, Robbers is showing up in the limelight, or at least in the spotlight at the moment, as the upper ones.
Epos had a really good start, but he was risking it too much. Had to release in the bobsleigh, and with that, he has made that mistake. But yes, you're right. They have to make it happen, because maybe I think this is one of their best maps. Definitely top 3. Yeah. If we just take a look into the seeding. I mean, also here, they're just behind Razi, 0.7 of a second. And keep in mind, Razi was 0.5 behind Epos. So let's see what time Razi does. I'm really, really looking forward to that. Henken also with a mistake in the meantime, but still lands smoothly in the slope there. And Razi will clock in that first position with a 113.9. So maybe I saved it a bit, but Epos was on another great time. But it's a draw, so Gravity PIWO taking some time, taking some points, 1 to be exact, but still 4 points behind Robbers.
Yeah, it's a tough task what it's going to be, but you can see, like as I suspected as well, like Beta Toast and Henken, their times can go very similar, or at least compete with Epos as well. Like Epos and Razi, their PBs are pretty insane, to be honest. But it's not something you can always do every single round. But you can see that they are sort of borderline on the PB pace of Beta Toast. But he's also probably been cooking before this as well. You know, a bit of extra practice. You know, make sure it's as comfortable as it can be, cleaner than it was yesterday. So it's hard to tell, of course. But Razi is definitely enjoying a good time at the moment, but Beta Toast gets his wheel stuck on that ledge there. So it is Henken who's the one that has the Swede has to save the German from the might of the Robbers, who are looking to steal some points and rounds from these teams. A fitting name, I would say, for this team as well, because that's what they've been doing, stealing the show for this tournament.
Yeah, and I think they will certainly not steal the show in that next match that we have after that. But I mean, never call it too early, but I think this was a huge opportunity for Gravity and PIWO to beat Razi and Epos. But I mean, look at those times, sub 114. I think they can beat those times on a good day, but they have to get out of their comfort zone. So 0.4 is serious business here from Razi. It's 9-2. 2 aces in a row are needed, so they have to clutch it. So I hope that they're gonna make it. I mean, it would be a great story to see they getting at least 1 ace now. Even 1 ace would be great for them. But I mean, already the nose side here from Epos at the start. Very, very nicely done. Finding himself in the lead together with Razi, jumping pretty early into the bobsleigh there and not having the best amount of speed because he had to adjust his steering. So Henken and Beta Toast having a chance here to get that first position. It's a 3-horse battle for first. but I think Epos gives us a very good overview here over the player field because he is on 4th place and only 0.4 behind, and he had a very good ice section last round. Failed it the round before that though, the round before the last rounds, and now he had to adjust as well. Razi as well. Oh, Henke not with the best line, but look at that. The dirt soup here from Epos getting some airtime, but still is in this fight here for that 1st and 2nd position. And we see Henke with the mistakes. I think this is it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is. They really needed Henken to take over Epos at the moment, but it's hopefully Epos doesn't make a mistake, because then it's going to be a bit bittersweet for them. But it seems that this end, that once you get into the flow of it, it does sort of right it itself. You just have to have a bit of a visual marker when to jump in, and the rest of it gets carried. So Beta Toast with a very good time, very close to his PB as well. So maybe a bit of a confidence boost going into the next map, but it is going to be a draw. But that is more than enough for the first track point for Robbers, who take the 1-0 lead. Of course, we have to keep in mind, this is the upper bracket final as well, so it's not going to be like, oh, this is the final chance they have. So if either of these teams, whichever will lose, will still have a chance to go for seed 2. And to answer the question about how how the crashes are calculated, it is based on the delta of the round. So if you fall behind a certain delta of the round, that is considered a crash, or at least sufficing of a crash. Maybe a minor touch where you lose at 3/10 is not a crash. You could call it like a minor mistake, but if you fall behind a delta, then it considers it as a crash. What the actual calculations is, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but that is sort of the gist of it.
Yeah, I would say something like 1 second of a delta from checkpoint to checkpoint, something like that. But it's really hard to measure that, because also some players, maybe they didn't crash, maybe they just went safe, and this was considered a crash. Maybe here, like we have seen some players going super wide in this corner, and if you just cross that checkpoint a bit later, this was not a crash then. So it's sometimes hard to tell that. And also here, you know, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think there's still some good things to take away from that, but usually, like, it's very hard to determine that. Anyways, let's go into this map. This is the pick by Gravity and PIWO, by Beta Toast and Henken. It is Edge, one of the RPG-style maps. Beta Toast is really good on that. As you can see, he finds himself in the lead, and we see the first mistake being done by Razi. Henken and Beta Toast, 1st and 3rd position, would be a very, very good opportunity for them to take some points. Henken will barely make that jump. Beta Toast on a great time here, and also Henken clears that jump, so he will get that position. Beta Toast with a 105.37 as the first place. And the world record on Edge is a 105.17, so only 0.2 away from it. Maybe we have seen faster times yesterday, but that's what I see here as the online world record.
Yeah, that is true. And I actually looked at the PBs. Razi didn't really have a PB, and Epos got like a 20-second something PB as well. So it seems that they haven't really played Edge against other competitors that much, or if at all. So that is something to keep in mind. Maybe this was a picked by Gravity on purpose, so it's very hard to tell if the times there up the top have been correct, but that's what has been tracked at least. So that is something to maybe keep in mind. Maybe Gravity x PIWO have been keeping an eye on some of the matches they've been doing and maybe have noticed, but Beta Toast is the one that has to respawn. But there is one thing I've noticed, which I'm sure we'll see a lot of as well, is that the intended line is to go the outside boat, but both Razi and Epos have a mistake at the checkpoint.
Oh, no.
And now Henken is the one to take the lead. Beta also makes a mistake beforehand, but he's with Razi. Razi has such a completely modded checkpoint. He's absolutely not enjoying his time there. So it's Henken in the lead, Epos is second, and Beta Toast is fighting Razi, who clips again and gets overtaken by Beta Toast. Now this is the edge we're looking for.
Yeah, this is usually the edge that we have seen yesterday as well. Henken survives the ending. It doesn't matter. He wins the round with a 107, 2 seconds over the world records. Beta Toast will get he will get that 3rd position. I thought for a second that Epos had to respawn, but that wasn't the case. So it's 4-2. Looking good for Gravity PIWO to take home this map eventually. But we have seen Epos and Razi with a good start, but then lacking that consistent, or this last call in the end of getting that 3 points across. You know, just before that backwards part, they made that mistake, and I hope that the momentum swings towards Gravity PIWO, but just when I think about it, it's the first mistake being done by... No, wait, it was Razi, but now Henken also did a mistake. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. And yeah, chat is correct. And that is indeed a 16.9 a PB by Razi. He still hasn't gotten a faster time than that. You know, he's practicing, you know, let him try, you know. He's probably not in the Edge community. It seems that this is a map that maybe robbers are more vulnerable than other maps, and clearly that's what I was saying before. Maybe there's a clear reason why this was picked against this Epos gets to go for another respawn. This is definitely not the consistency, or at least what we would have expected from Epos and Razi. Beta Toast is holding the flag up high for Team Gravity X PIWO, and he's holding the flag to get the first position with a 105.4. Good times. Whereas Henken, too far behind to even contest with Epos, who's coming across the line now. And Henken, well, should be able to finish. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy landing here, but it won't make the difference. It is a draw, but that's more than enough for Gravity. They will just be going on to the... They can get 5 more draws, and they're more than happy with that.
Yeah, and also the other match is happening right now. You can follow that one as well on the Nelesta channel, Nelesta TV. There you can see that. They do cast this match in French, but there you can see the overview and the like the standings and all of that. And Henken again with a mistake and gets the nosedive, and this should be almost always a respawn, but he decides not to. So this is considered a crash if I've ever seen one. So Henken 3 seconds behind Razi and Epos, chasing down Beta Toast, who is just the strong anchor for Gravity and PIWO on this map, looking really strong. Hardly made a mistake on this map, and also 105.37 as a PB is really fast. So very good job here from Beta Toast performing on this map, but also on the previous map, Beta Toast looked very strong. So looking forward to see what he will pull off next year. Maybe he teams up with, I mean, Henken. Don't get me wrong, he's a really skilled and good player, but I think Beta Toast, like seeing that, this is challenger level, I would say. Yeah, especially on those maps.
Definitely a person to keep an eye on, because he's really giving a run for their money on Edge for Epos and Razi, who don't really seem to be at all comfortable with this. Another victory for Gravity X PIWO, and Razi yet to break the one. He hasn't gotten a single round under 110 even. As far as... Oh, actually, he had one round with a 106. My bad. But he's really been struggling on this map. But actually, both members haven't had the consistency we expected, as I said before. But Beta Toast holding first position, and Henken, you know, he gets the job done, you know, at the moment. He's the wingman you deserve. Razi definitely not the one that you would want to have a wingman, at least for this round. But he's being there, you know, he just gets the job done. It can be 3 seconds lower, 2 seconds, 1 second. Yep. He just gets across the line and brings the points in, and that is exactly what they need. As Epos again clips the inside, and Henken he can overtake, but he doesn't go for the inside line, which is faster, I've seen, at least in my opinion. But it's an interesting way to do it. But you know, if he's safe with that, you know, it's perfectly fine for him.
Dude, Beta Toast, what a performance from him on this map. Really nice, but also, as you said, Henken is there when you need him. Of course, he did that mistake now, but he just goes for the double respawn, still stays out of Razi, doesn't matter, does it calm and collected into the ending and secures that second point, and there you go, 105.21, a very serious time. Henken finishes on third, and it's 9-5. So Gravity and PIWO looking to win a map against robbers. I'm not sure if they ever lost a map. Let me actually check that.
Not to my knowledge, at least. If my memory serves me right, they have won every single match so far, 4-0. So this would be the first time they lose a map. Cool. So again, it just shows the prowess of Beta Toast. So definitely a player, so a lot of people should be keeping an eye on, because he's giving Razi, who's a former Challenger League player himself as well, and Epos, who has had some recent upbringings in some of the lands and tournaments that he has been playing and been outperforming some of the best players in the world. And Beta Toast is, well, basically showing them a 101 guide how to beat this team on Edge at the moment. So he's having a great time. So, and Henken hasn't made a mistake now as well. He's just fallen a bit behind on pace. But that is just really good stuff. And they only need 1 point, so they have to get an ace. Otherwise, it's a track point for Gravity X PIWO.
Yeah, So Better Toast just has to get that 1 point, currently battling with Epos here, but good line from Epos. And look how his win rate also dropped, the top ones, how they dropped. 51%, they were up 60%, and this is not a good line. Better Toast almost gets it there, but we have another good time. That's the answer from Razi, a 105.02, and now it's 8-9. Robbers are taking it here, but Better Toast also with a small mistake there, eventually not getting it. So it's track point for both teams. What a great performance, and that shows why Robbers are the favorite. Will the 0 streak still go on? They are definitely getting contested here, but I think like most of you guys expected a 4-0. I didn't actually, like just when I see them performing on Edge. But we see the first mistake being done here. Small mistake by Epos. Going a bit wide there to set himself up nice, but Epos overtakes Better Toast. The German player has made a mistake, and this looks grim. This looks gnarly. Oh, but Epos not with the best speed. There's still a shot for a Better Toast. Can he make it?
Yeah, he has to drive it now clean and hope for a mistake at the moment. Oh no, he touches too much on the inside, and that is very unredeemable. Unless one of them has a completely dead respawn here. This is going to be Robbers, well, as their namesake is, stealing the round and the track point right in front of Gravity X PIWO. It looks so great, but maybe when you get close, you know, when you have your eyes or your sights on the finish line or that track point, sometimes is where it is the most shakiest, but in this case it's just not quite enough. But it's still a good performance, everything considered on this map. It was a lot tougher for Robbers than they probably would have wanted it to be, but this was Gravity X PIWO's like answer to GeForce, which could have been, but in this case it wasn't to be.
Yeah, this was what they were in need of, but eventually they just lost those last 2 rounds. But also Razi with great times, did a 0.0, did a 0.2. So huge shout out to the Croatian player, who's also a veteran, you know, played a lot of Cup of the Days, played a lot of events, also being around in the tech community for so long, and now he finally found the teammates that gives him motivation. And I think Razi and Epos, they also have a good shot of qualifying to the World Cup itself, to the top 16. So let's go into the next map. We have map number 3, which is Twisted, and also the pick by Epos and Razi.
Yeah, this is the more of the technical map, but when I look at everybody's PBs, no, it's relatively close. You can see that Beta and Henken have fallen a bit behind, but it's so easy to clip on this map. Like a little clip there, more airtime there can be the difference as well. And if they're trying to go for the World Championship, for example, as well, then all of these little mistakes need to be ironed out as well. Otherwise, it is going to be a difficult task. Of course, if you are Seed 1, you are going into Group G, which will be an easier start in the wildcards, but still, you want to iron out these little mistakes as soon as possible, because otherwise you are going to be going up against people who have been preparing for this event probably even longer than you have. But for now, Beta Toast is contesting the 2 up front. As Razi doesn't get the slide going and hits the Polar, so they are sort of a 2v2 up front and in the back. But who's able to risk it the most? Epos has such a clean line in the end, so Beta brings in the point, but Razi comes in the 3rd with Henken in 4th, so 2-1 to start us off.
Yeah, 2-1 here victory for Team Robbers yet again. 103.94 is the online world record. One of the more skilled maps, I would say, also with this identity. And also thank you, Nina, for the raid, by the way. You guys just joined in time, so you might wonder what is happening here. We have right now the finals, and then afterwards there will be another final where the loser of this match will play against the winner of the loser bracket, which also takes place simultaneously. You can follow that on the Nilesta TV channel, where Nilesta plays against I think the Honorary, right? And Nilesta versus Honorary, I think they do play against each other. And whoever wins this match here will move on into the World Cup or World Championship group stage, as well as the winner from the next match. This is Seed 1, and the next match will be Seed 2. Seed 1 will go into Group G, and Seed 2 will go into Group C. So there you have it, and this looks to be like an ace for Team Robbers, unless Betatos can snipe Epos in the ending. But Epos has a good line, minimizes airtime accordingly, and Razi also on a very serious time here, 104.35. And well, this looks very grim for Gravity and PIWO.
Yeah, that is looking a very solid performance as well. Yes, sometimes we've called it the World Cup. Apologies for that as well. It's a sort of a football enjoyer moment because everything else in the world is named
it's
World.
wild card and not group stage. I was a bit of a
again,
moment.
there's a lot of things that us football enjoyers or sports enjoyers name it that way. So it is actually it is wild cards. It is World Championships. You know, so if we slip off the tongue. That's just us being a bit tired. It is a Sunday, okay? Give us a break, you know. It's been a long week.
I also meant that, you know.
You know, in our hearts, it's World Championships. In our brains, we still have compopulation. But for now, for Robbers, it is a possibility for an ace again for the round, as Henken and Betatos are trying to catch up. But the pace that Robbers are setting at the moment is quite insane. There hasn't been really that Gravity XP have done wrong. It's just raw pace that is currently the difference between the two, as clean execution all around. This is going to be some fast times by the two as well. I think it's going to be another 104 low, a bit of air time there, but these are fast times, and indeed they are. 104.2 and a 104.5. That is fast.
Yeah. So last chance will qualify to wildcards. And then the top 8 of wildcard will play against the top 8 that is already qualified for the World Cup, which are the top 8 teams, Trackmania Grand League. And then they will play in the World Cup group stage. So I just got confused with that. There you have it. Yeah, and also, Germany got, they won in basketball today. That's true.
Yeah, they didn't do so well against Japan, did they?
Oh, I mean, we talk basketball and not football, okay? World Championship and not World Cup, and there we have it again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, why is it so confusing, man? World Championship, World Cup. Listen, oh my God, dude, I'm losing it, really.
Well, either way, the ones that aren't losing it are Razi and Epos.
For future broadcasts. Yeah, well, okay, guys. I'll see you tomorrow on my channel, Twitch TV Lacristo.
Yeah, well, either way, I'm gonna try and keep myself. Well, SRK cannot ban me because I'm a super sub for the World Tour. But we see multiple mistakes, and with so many touches in the end, it's actually boils down to the great race in the end. So all is good at the moment. I see that there is a very loyal fan in the chat as well, named Fegir as well. So, you know, all good stuff. But we move on to Backflip as our 4th map as well. What a map as well. And you missed out on a previous match when Honorary were playing against Attorney. Auris didn't miss it a single time, basically, when he went for it. He made an early mistake on one part, but he caught it every single time. So I'm expecting the same quality here. No mistakes whatsoever. Surely that is going to be the case.
Yes, let's go to map number 4. Backflip. Wow. So there you go. We calmed down. We got everything out of the way. Dude, like, it's crazy how we get those small things still. Whatever. It's World Championship.
It will grade into our brain. It's been a long while since a World Championship that we've had, so you know, it's
but
like you need a bit of a
didn't we have
refresher
World Cups?
in our brain.
Weren't they called World Cups before? Or
hey, oi, uplet there, oi. Hey, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. But at the moment, it is Robbers that taking the early lead, and Betatos chasing down the two members as Henken has fallen a bit behind.
Yeah, Razi and Epos looking very strong, and I mean that's a pick from Gravity and PIWO. So Razi and Epos on their way to maybe win this map here, but Razi with a mistake goes for the respawn, and Betatos with a good amount of speed here in this case. And let's go with the identity, which looked very hard. Betatos with a good line here as well, gets a good amount of speed. Will he make that flip here? Looking good air brake timing as well. But Epos had it also pretty good, but does not catch that much of the booster. Goes for the respawn. Very smart. And Betatos will win the round here with a 108.10.
Yeah, that is a good way to start. Of course, afterwards, we will go over the tournament as well a bit, maybe catch people off as well. Oh, actually, I haven't seen the standstill respawn for this identity. I didn't even know that people could go to the left there. well, you definitely don't want to do that. That is a good reminder, chat. Note that down. Don't do that in matches if you do play. Most of you probably won't be playing the wildcards, but you don't want to do that. So keep that in mind. But it was a draw to start us off, and Beta Toast was the one to keep it cool, calm, and collected for Gravity XP. As Henken doesn't get the slide after the bounce and puts Beta Toast again in a position where he has to deny the two members of Robbers, who are looking quite good. A bit of a wallbang there. We'll blink. We blinked there. We didn't see it by Epos. So, but it's looking good for everybody involved as we go on to the first flip here. And this is the more consistent one. It's surprising how well this one works. It's the final one that seems to be the troublesome one, as Razi does get it a bit too low, proving my point wrong. But overall, it's the first jump is actually quite nice, and it's a cool little flip. It's when we get to this, it's where troubles begin.
Yeah, I think it's hard. It's very hard to just adjust your angle because you come out of a turn, and you also jump from a lower angle, so that's why it's a bit harder. But Razi gets it so well here. Beta Toast also with a good approach. Epos, now with the best amount of speed, will still get that second place. Razi overtakes him with a sub 108 time here, and this is the ace for Robbers. Look at that. I think this looks very good for them. 4-1. Next round has to be something for Gravity and PIWO to stay somewhat in close proximity.
Yeah, that is indeed true. I mean, Beta Toast again, it shows he is there. He's stealing a few points. It is simply a bit unfortunate that, yes, Henken can get clean rounds in from time to time, but he has to slightly save a bit, to make sure he gets a clean run going. And he does have to rely on the mistakes of Epos and Razi, but once these type of players get into the flow of it, it's very hard to throw them off, because they turn into machines and they just do the same line over and over and over again. Same speed, same line, same execution, and it's just wizardry. And while we just mere mortals cannot even fathom how they do it, but it's just a flow, such a good flow of a game, and once you get into it, it's just such the most satisfying thing to do. As we can see, Robbers again in an ace position as Beta Toast is trying to catch up again.
Wow, what a dominant performance from Robbers, from Epos and Razi, and they're looking good to qualify to the wildcards event, which will be played in a flex schedule. They will move into Group G if they are going to win this match, but this looks really good. One more ace needed, but no. Beta Toast overtakes Epos in the ending, and also Razi with another good time. They're getting faster and faster every round. 107.17. It's 6-2, so 4 more points are needed.
Yeah, and some people in chat cannot do math. Other people are smarter and look at the scores and see that it's no way impossible to be a GG yet. But either way, we move on to the next round.
How can it be GG already?
Yeah, so some people are a bit, quick on the trigger,
Marina, so, aufpassen.
Yeah, okay, Rezir doesn't even know how to write aufpassen. So, everybody's having a Sunday moment at the moment. So,
Yeah.
But at the moment, the people who aren't having a leisurely Sunday drive, well, you could say somewhat it is, because they are enjoying their time, it seems, because 6-2 up, again in the lead.
Sunday moment.
Sunday
You could also
moment.
say a birthday moment for you, right?
I mean, hey, but Razi has a checkpoint moment.
Razi has a Sunday moment here.
Yeah, that's a Sunday moment, and I have there. That's one there. You definitely those are those late night Sundays. That's where you don't want to end up in an edge or in a checkpoint. That's all I'm saying. But for now, at least, it's possible draw incoming for Gravity X PIWO, as Epos, if he gets it clean, he will secure 1 point for sure, and he looks to be doing so as well. He won't go for the backflip. Again, we'll allow it. Henken has had to go for a respawn, and Razi is right behind him. And Razi has a much better end, but this time Henken actually gets the execution. So if he gets a good landing, which he does, he gets the finish and secures a draw for Gravity X PIWO. 7-3 is the score, but this is now the match point and the first opportunity for Robbers to secure Seed 1 out of the last chance qualifier for the wildcards.
And Seed 1 also puts you in a very good group in the wildcards. We're gonna come to that later in the overview, because out of that, 8 teams will qualify to the World Championship. I think now we got it correct. We're not gonna get banned here. Okay, So let's go into maybe the last round. If Razi and Epos will get an ace, Vedatos, already 0.4 behind, has shown great pace on this map. But Epos and Razi are just so strong, already so far ahead, and also getting this flip here very nicely. Razi had, almost every round too much speed, and with that got a lower jump. So he finds himself already a little bit behind. 1 second, but I think he can catch us up in the identity, especially when Vedatos clips beforehand. Oh, but Vedatos not catching airtime compared to Razi, who jumped a little bit off of that, but gets a lot of speed here. This is all on the ending. Will this be the last round here? Will Team Robbers qualify for the wild cards, or will Vedatos and Henken still survive another round? Vedatos with a good line. Razi clips, and we go to the next round, because also Henken overtakes Razi, so only 1 point for Team Robbers.
Yes, that is a good one. Henken got a good landing. Razi clipped the ramp on the left there, and it lost him quite a bit of speed there, so it was enough just for Henken to come in. But this is exactly what Henken is supposed to do for the team. You know, he's there. You know, he's that guy. You know, you will have your back when you need him the most. Maybe not always, but when it actually matters, and in this case it does matter quite a bit, because it's now do or die moments for Gravity X PIWO, because now a victory is minimum enough for them to get the match point. So second attempt at Seed 1 for Robbers and Gravity X PIWO to maybe prolong the game here, but they do have to have some clean executions. Everybody gets the flip. Henken does get a bit of a bumpier one, so it is all good for now. Razi is in a commanding lead. Vedatos follows, Epos follows. It's down to the identity. So whoever gets it clean now might secure themselves either a match point or some very crucial points to go. Razi has to respawn. He went too fast. He has to respawn. Henken goes really safe. Epos has to respawn. This could be an ace. But Henken has to respawn again. But this is a good call. He knew he had too little speed, and that is more than enough. Oh, but Razi overtakes in the end. Oh no, this could have been a perfect ace for Gravity X PIWO, but right on the line, Razi overtakes. That is unfortunate, and it is an sin for Robbers, and only 1 point needed.
And this 1 point was huge. I mean, an ace is just so overpowered if you get that in this kind of situation. It would have been 8-7. Now it's 9-6 instead, so a discrepancy of 3 instead of 1 point. Let's see, 1 point needed for Robbers to close out this match and take Seed 1 out of this last chance qualifier for the World Cards, and then you can play the World Championship afterwards if you've made it out of that. So let's go and see if it's the last round. Oh, we see the first mistake already. It is Epos not making that here. Razi will this time survive this part, and he only needs to stay ahead of either Vedatos or Henken. Not both are needed, only one person, but he's so far ahead. Make it half a second, but one respawn could result into an ace for Gravity and PIWO for against Robbers. But Razi looking strong. Will he make it? That is the question. Good flip. Oh, maybe a bit of an over rotation. Does not have the best amount of speed, but will still stay ahead. Henken comes a bit closer, but Razi will secure the first seed in this last chance qualifier, and his team will go into the wildcards.
That is indeed so. Robbers, a clean sweep of the last chance qualifier. It came close on edge and somewhat even here as well, but they keep their clean streak going. They are seed number 1, and it was such a great win that Epos had to leave the server to grab some tea right away. But it is possible that the other match could be still underway, so we might actually see the conclusion on that, or if it's already over.
I think it's already over.
Yeah, it was also a quick one. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see for that one. What was the score? I believe that I saw some glimpses that it was 4-0 and Honorary wasn't doing so well. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Marina, you have another monitor you can take a look at here. You have the luck here, so you can actually check that. So you know, oi. Just so don't be that person. Don't be that one guy or that one person.
So there's one more seed up for grabs for the wildcard event. Maybe we can take a look onto the groups at the moment, which are in the wildcards taking place. So you can see that there is still one more seed open in Group C and in Group G. The seed 1, so the winner of this previous match, So in this case, Team Robbers will go into that group. They play against Airwalkers, Also Esport, and then DXA Esports. Out of all of those groups, one team will qualify to the World Cup, to the World Championship. Dude, it's incredible. Why do I always say World Cup? Dude, I have to, like, every time when I go to bed, I have to say World Championship and not, dude, it's incredible. I cannot get my head around that. And then the winner from the next match will go into Group C.
Yeah,
so,
that is indeed
Sprout,
true.
Rex, and Antique. At least I spotted my mistake, but guys, I still have to get used to that. Of course, that's the first time that we're gonna cast parts of the World Championship, and we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, well,
hopefully it's not my last time here, guys.
we'll be there. SRK is having some staring moments at the moment, so we'll be right back with you after this quick little break, where we will see who will be seed number 2 for the wildcard group. So the World Championships is only just beginning, and there's plenty more to come. So don't go too far. We'll be right back.
We have one more match in this last chance qualifier for the wildcards. It is a great match that will come into play now. Gravity and PIWO versus Nelesta Esports. So Germany and Sweden versus France. And firstly, I want to see